Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Here's 5 reasons. Hello and welcome to 5 Reasons. My name is Roger the Retro Gaming Puppet, and I'm your host. And I am so excited about this episode because we're talking about the PC Engine, the Japanese Turbografx-16, one of my favorite systems. And I want to dive right in, but before we do that, I just want to clarify to any of the PC Engine faithful out there that we are talking only about games in the HuCard format this episode. No CD titles. And for you neophytes in the audience, well, that'll make more sense in just a second. The PC Engine was released in Japan on October 30th, 1987. It was a collaboration between game developer and publisher Hudson Soft and Japanese electronics giant NEC. The system eventually made its way to the US as the Turbografx-16 in 1989. It had a very limited release in Europe, also starting in 1989. The games came on credit card-sized cartridges referred to as HuCards in Japan and Turbo Chips in the US. In December of 1988, NEC and Hudson released a CD-ROM add-on for the console, making it the very first video game system to use CDs as a medium. But like I said earlier, we're not talking about any of those games in this episode. And it was largely the CD add-on that led to the numerous hardware configurations for the PC Engine and Turbografx. Well, that and the fact that the small credit card-sized games made them very, very portable. So let's start there. The portability of the cards led to 2 handhelds, the PC Engine GT, known in the US as the Turbo Express, and the Japan-only PC Engine LT, a larger portable version that could even be connected to the CD-ROM accessory. The CD-ROM drive itself led to multiple configurations that merged it into the console as one unit. Now, we have a PC Engine Duo R, and that's the version we recommend. It's a little pricey, but it's worth the cost, especially since the earlier PC Engine Duo models used cheap capacitors that can leak onto the motherboard and damage your system. Now there's also the PC Engine Duo RX, but the only difference between the R and the RX is that the RX came with a 6-button controller. With 4 times the memory of 1 megabit CDs, the Turbo Duo takes gaming. So why the PC Engine and not the Turbografx? Well, I'm glad you asked. You see, it mostly comes down to library. The PC Engine had 289 official releases, while the Turbografx only had 94. And of those, over half have been re-released either on Virtual Console or on the PlayStation Store for play on the PS3, PSP, or PS Vita. So we're going with the bigger, richer library. Without further ado, here's 5 reasons to import a PC Engine. Joe talked about this game on Same Name Different Game some time ago, and his assessment was that it wasn't especially great. And he's right. It's sort of like if Batman was in a lame Bomberman game. I mean, you do very Batman-ish things in this game, like wiping graffiti off of paintings. But hey, there are some obsessive Bat fans out there in the world, and this game is completely unlike any other Batman game. Also, what is that I hear? Is that a track from the excellent Batman NES soundtrack, given awesome treatment on the PC Engine? Why yes. Yes, it is. PC Engine Batman isn't some hidden gem of a Batman game, but it is a PC Engine exclusive and it's not terrible, so maybe it's worth a look. Unfortunately, since we got our copy, the price has gone up quite a bit, so maybe emulation is the way to go with this one. The shoot 'em up. If ever there was a singular genre associated with the PC Engine and Turbografx, this is it. Most of the big hitters are available as re-releases. Stuff like Blazing Lasers and the Soldier series are available for a song on more modern systems. But Toy Shop Boys, a shooter in the shoot-'em-up subgenre, remains unreleased and is a pretty solid effort. You take control of 3 boys who can fly for some reason, and you blow up rogue toys. Each boy has a different weapon, and you can switch between them on the fly. All weapons power up at the same rate with the same power-ups, so you've always got options when it comes to approaching different enemies. If you've exhausted all the usual shootery suspects, then this game might be one to check out. Go blow up some toy tanks. CrossWiber is actually a sequel to a different game called Cybercross, but this is the better entry. You take to the streets as this guy named Weber, who I guess is a detective or a soldier or I don't know, something fighting off aliens. And once you collect enough of these power capsules, you can turn into a RoboCop Power Ranger hybrid and dole out some hard justice to these invading alien forces. There are 3 options for power suits. They're changed with a pickup, and each has a different weapon, and those can be powered up. There are also some cool shoot-'em-up stages with Weber on this flying motorcycle that help vary the pace. A decent action platformer, CrossWiber isn't innovative or fun enough to stand on the level of your Mega Mans or your Ninja Gaidens, but it's still a decent little game. And add to the fact that there are brand new sealed copies right now on eBay for less than $50, and, well, you can imagine how cheap a used one goes for. So give it a go! Hani in the Sky is a weird game. The player takes on the role of a sentient Hani statue, which some of you may recognize as, I think they're called gyroids in Animal Crossing, and you fly through the sky to save some god's god wife, or something. Like I said, it's a weird game. The game is a really unique shooter though, and it's clearly meant to be played with the PC Engine's built-in turbo feature. You see, since every PC Engine controller came with a turbo switch, this game could be designed with that in mind. One button fires Hani's gun, I guess, and the other rotates his arm. And those things are not easy to do without turbo. So here's an example. Here's playing it wrong without the turbo, and here's playing it right with the turbo. So you can see the difference. So yeah, unique mechanics and a unique aesthetic. This game is a must for any shooter fan. Seemingly mostly forgotten, wrongly if you ask me, Hani in the Sky is, well, it's just the perfect kind of weird. And it got a weird sequel called Hani on the Road, which changes everything up into a platformer. Both are worth your time if you're into quirky Japanese titles. Makai Prince Doroban, or Demon Prince Doroban, is a side-scrolling platformer from Naxxitsoft, known in the US as Taxon, who published a few games on the NES over here, but mostly in Japan they published for the PC Engine. Tons and tons of PC Engine games. And this game sees the player take on the role of the young prince and fight their way through several stages filled with weird enemies, power-ups, and bosses. It's got a very cutesy, chibi style to it, and while it's not exactly tough as nails, it's not super easy either. Astute viewers may recognize Doroban from the Super NES sequel to this game, which was released in the US, The Twisted Tales of Spike McFang. Makai Prince Doroban is another weird game, but it's a very fun one. In fact, I would say it's easily the best game I've talked about today. And that'll do it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time with another 5 Reasons.
Oh my honey! Honey! Honey!
My name is Hani.
360度乱れ打ちハニーザスカイハニーをともあれ